often do you listen to your intuition in business? Not only listening to it, but actually trusting your gut. Listening to hunches and following intuitive hits isn't often talked about in business, especially in financial services, where rationality, research, and results are often honored. But by ignoring your inner guidance system, you're missing out on one of the greatest tools you have for not only connecting with clients, but also for creative problem solving and business growth. Albert Einstein said, "The only real valuable thing is intuition." And Jonas Salk, the scientist who developed the first polio vaccine, said, "Intuition will tell the thinking mind where to look next." Well, let's take a moment and define what intuition is. A 2008 study in the British Journal of Psychology defined intuition as what happens when the brain draws on past experiences and external cues to make a decision. But it happens so fast that the reaction is at an unconscious level. Dr. Judith Orloff, assistant clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA, adds to this, just like the brain, there are neurotransmitters in the gut that can respond to environmental stimuli and emotions in the now. It's not just about past experiences, she says. When neurotransmitters fire, you may get the feeling of butterflies or uneasiness in your stomach. Researchers theorize that gut instinct, which sends signals to your brain, plays a large role in intuition. You may believe that women are better than men at this, but we all have intuitive abilities. Some people are just more in touch with these intuitive hits more than others. It's like building any other muscle. It takes some time to grow your intuition and trust what you're feeling and hearing. One important way to grow your intuition is to create periods of quiet. You can't hear your own good intentions with the noise of consistent thoughts playing in your mind. We have between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day. It can feel like a TV playing in the background all day in our heads. But taking pauses to deliberately create quiet through practices such as meditation are really important. Even taking a few conscious breaths during your day is helpful. Well, let's do that right now. Inhale and exhale. See if you can keep your attention on a full breath cycle, from the deep inhale to a pause at the top, to a slower exhale and a pause at the bottom. One way to practice that has worked so well for me and others I've worked with is to journal. Now, if you're like me, I was really resistant to having a consistent journaling practice. And there's two things that help me with this. First is some research. One study looked at a group of people who were laid off from work. Half of the people were instructed to journal about their feelings for 20 minutes for just 5 days. And the other group was not given these instructions. At the end of 8 months, 68% of the journaling group had new jobs, and only 27% of the non-journaling group did. The other thing that has helped me was that I started to type my journals. I found it really slow and annoying to write by hand. Now, I believe there's some benefits of handwriting, but if I wasn't going to do it, then there would be no benefits. One of the journaling prompts that I use is, who should I be in touch with today? Or who needs to hear from me today? And then I actually reach out to them. The more you act on your intuitive hunches, the more you'll notice that often there's a good reason to do so. Last year, I reached out to someone who came up in my journaling. He had hired me in the past to lead client events for his office, and I just reached out to touch base and check in. And before I knew it, by the end of the call, he'd scheduled me for another program, and we picked a date. It was so fast. Now, does that always happen? No. But I bet if you try this, you'll hear more and more often, "Oh, I was just about to call you," or "I was just thinking about you." Please play with listening and trusting your gut. Act on the intuitive hits about who you should reach out to, and get quiet to help find solutions to tricky situations. If you do this on a consistent basis, I know you'll see the benefits.